Yeah.
Uh,
All right.
Are we live?
Well, I hit live, so I think we're there. Um, I you know, I'm not as young as I used to be, so I don't know how this fucking shit works anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I think we're in. Um,
So I
so
just
we're
got a
on.
notification that you're live.
Okay.
Okay, so we're
Yeah,
all
there we
right.
go. So yeah, we're on Radicalize Me, YouTube and Twitch, and also Mr.
Mhm.
Shushy, right?
Yeah, Mr. Shushi should be. I should be live on. Um, excuse me. So we're gonna get all the different comments from different places, right? On like the right hand side, right?
Yeah.
We'll be able to see the chat, right? Audience messages will appear here. So yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. Actually,
Sweet.
do want to pull up Twitch.
So
Oh man.
if you're just joining us, this is the first time we're officially going live. Been working
I
out
mean, you've been
the
live on
kinks
this.
and the
You've been
bugs.
live
Yeah.
on your channels before, right?
Yeah, yeah. I just mean the new format, the two man
Yeah.
whatever. Um,
Yeah.
so
Radicalize me.
yeah. So yeah, I think this is gonna be good. We got a lot to talk about just
Mm-hmm.
just surrounding Platner. Um,
Yeah.
Mr. Graham Platner. Um, so
Horrid week. Horrid week.
yeah, it's nuts. I mean, I think uh, like this story. I was like, yeah, that seems like a real story. I'm like I that like New York Times hit piece was weird, and I felt like a lot of those stories were like not that bad. It was just sort of like, oh yeah, he was like a weird volatile guy who like
Mm-hmm.
had alcoholism after war. Like, yeah, okay, yeah, like that makes sense. But none of them were saying like, oh, he hit me, he did this, it was
Yeah.
like, why did you write this piece? And then the one
Yeah.
lady who was like, oh, he was rough, he like grabbed me my arm and like locked me in a room or
Mm-hmm.
something. And it was like that seems worse, but also you did PR for Brett Kavanaugh or something. Like
Yeah.
I don't that makes it a little harder for me to like I don't want to like obviously over the years we've all tried to um relearn and not be like
I thought you were
reflexively.
gonna say. I thought you were gonna say. Over the years, we've all tried to lock women in rooms against their will, as
Come
one
on, it
does.
happens. Yeah. No, it's just like, obviously we don't want to like reflexively
Hmm.
deny stories like this that people bring up. But yeah, it was like the one that you have is like this fucking like
Hmm.
Republican operative. Like it was just weird. Not that not that you can't be Republican and say something, and I'm just, if you if you say
Yeah.
something, I'm not going to be like, oh fuck you, you're a Republican. No, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're an operative. Like you're a professional bullshitter. So that's why I was a little more reticent. I was like, okay, I'll see if anything. But yeah, this new story was very clear, and it was very damning. And I don't think this lady has any reason to lie. So
I mean, it's very credible. I mean, I do think that, I think that some of the stuff with like the timing of it is, very, it's very convenient for the establishment Dems. I think that like also like it's very cleanly, right? The way that this story and like her rationale for like, why did I come out now for this, right? Like that was like one of the questions that she asked. And it was because nobody took the Republican operatives story seriously, right? So
yeah,
I do think that it is very there's a lot of conveniency around it, right? Like there is for
yeah,
sure. It is the way that it lines up, like gives the perfect time, like gives like only like 2 weeks for Maine Democrats to scramble and find a replacement for this guy, right? And at the same time,
Right.
it also just the way that the story is framed just successfully demonizes anybody who had Platner's back through all of
Yeah.
your majority reports, your Ken Klippensteins, your Ryan Grimms, like the guys who like were kind of riding or dying with Graham the whole time, right? Like all of those people, kind of very neatly get their head put on a pike for it, right?
Right.
So I think I mean, I do think it's very credible. I mean, and based on this guy's history, based on the stuff he's talked about, his trauma, based on just the kind of guy he seems like, I mean, dude cheated on his wife. He seems like, and I've said this for a while, he seems like a piece of shit. Like he seems, it's just it sucked because I think that there was a clear uh there was a clear like spark there, and I don't think we've seen the last of him, right? Like I think like there's a reason he connected with so many people. There's a reason that he got a record amount of people to show up to a Maine Democratic primary. He brought people out in droves. I think like he's probably going to go into podcasting. I've seen people say that he's probably going to make a right-wing pivot, which would be very disappointing, right? Would be,
Yeah.
it just the of course you go in, you pivot to right wing. I hope he doesn't. I mean, I very early on, I did, like when I first learned about him, I did donate to his campaign. This is like pre-tattoo, like
Yeah. Yeah.
like I did, like, because I was like, oh shit, like I'm from Maine, I grew up in Maine.
Oh, right.
When I was young, I mean, when I was like in college and shit, like I knew, like, oh, Susan Collins, that's that lady sucks.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
Susan Collins has been sucking. It's just like, oh, she like wants to make herself seem like the rebel Republican, right? And
Yeah.
you look at her voting record, it's like she always votes against the Republicans whenever it's extremely safe. Anytime
Right.
she needs to be the tiebreaker, she's the tiebreaker, right? But she'll vote. It's just like, oh, is this a freebie for me? Can I vote with the
Yes.
Democrats and keep up my she doesn't always vote, and so, and especially like, after like all of the Brett Kavanaugh stuff, right? And then, I mean, I wrote this. Did you read my McSweeney's article that I wrote?
Yeah, I might have read her like back when you posted it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I drew a direct line from, Susan Collins to, just the end of Roe v. Wade, just, kind of, a lot of where we are right now. And so the need to replace her and the need to get her out of that seat and no longer have that be such a clutch vote for the Republicans is urgent. And you know what I'm saying? It's very needed.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people saw him and his kind of firebrand style. And he was saying, outside of like all of the shit that was being said about him, he was saying some amazing shit. I mean, he was talking about, oh, there's a case to impeach 2 Supreme Court judges. I mean, that's rock star shit,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying? And so it is just very unfortunate that that this admittedly very credible allegation, very believable, just based on
Yeah.
what we know about him, and just and some of the stuff in that article, just it does, it's disturbing, but it's not out of the realm of possibility, right?
Yeah.
And it just sucks.
Yeah.
It
It's
just sucks how it lined up like this.
right. Yeah. Cause that's the thing. I want to be clear for anyone watching that, like, yeah, it's definitely not to deny it. It's because like, yeah, it's
I mean, I
convenient,
would
but it
never
is,
deny
but
it.
it's like, yeah, but it's like an opportunist thing that we can always expect from the Democratic Party. Cause like with what you're saying with how they've used it to demonize people who have been defending Plattner before this, it's like, okay, there's a lot I can say about that, but like, um, you know, none of the centrist Democrats turned on Andrew Cuomo, Bill Clinton,
Joe Biden.
uh,
I mean, look what they
Biden. Yeah. Right,
look at what
so
they did to Tara Reid. You know,
yeah, yeah,
and
and
I've
it's
brought up
like
Tara Reid.
everyone, yeah,
So,
everyone on the left like saw this and we're like, well, we can't fucking support that. Like, god damn, it's
yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
mean,
like I can,
I've
I
brought up
can
Tara Reid. I've brought up Tara Reid multiple times and had like just people just
short
shank
circuit.
me in comments,
Yeah,
just being like, no, Tara Reid actually wasn't credible. Tara Reid, blah 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 blah. She was a liar. She and just like I mean, like like it's
yeah,
just it is just kind of funny. Just I mean I think that if Graham Platner wanted to, if Graham Platner didn't want to give people health care and didn't loudly say free Palestine, right? I personally believe that, you would have seen a lot more rallying around him than you did. I think and I think
oh
and,
yeah,
and granted, like Ro Khanna was like one of the first people to be like, well, fuck him now. You know what I'm saying? And some, pretty big, progressive people, did come out immediately and were, what I'm saying. But anyway, I do think that even if this, I mean, here's the thing: this is a very credible allegation, but it doesn't. This allegation's credibility doesn't change how some of the just bald faced opportunism from especially like, did you see the video that the main Democrats put out? The main Democratic Party put out.
I don't think so. Oh, maybe I did.
So
Do
it
you
was like
have
this.
it?
I would need to find it, but I could probably
Oh,
find it.
okay.
But so I should have put that in the thing. I did not put that in the thing. But so the main Democrats, I know it was on Threads. Threads.com. Am I logged into Threads on this browser? That's the question. Oh, I'm logged into Instagram. So yes, I am logged into Threads. Okay,
Hell yeah.
let me find
Yeah, because they're
main
trying to
Dem.
attach it to like El Sayed and shit. It's like, bro,
Yeah, I mean
like, what do you
that's
think you're?
crazy. That is nuts. That is crazy. Okay, so here, let me. So I'm going to send this to the chat. Actually, can I share my screen?
Um,
Let me share my screen. Share screen. Okay, wait, and then we're going to do main Democratic Party.
is it?
All right, can you see it?
Yeah.
Round the clock to develop a process to replace a Senate nominee that is open, inclusive, transparent, and fair. The integrity of this process is.
Okay, so this is.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to provide you all an update on the U.S. Senate race here in Maine. As you know, the Maine Democratic Party has been working around the clock to develop a process to replace our U.S. Senate nominee that is open, inclusive, transparent, and fair. The integrity of this process is just as important as the outcome, and we are committed to ensuring that Democrats across our state can have confidence in both. Unfortunately, Graham Platner's team has repeatedly reached out to us in an attempt to put their thumb on the scale of what this process looks like. We have repeatedly reiterated to Graham Platner's team that they have no role in determining our next Democratic nominee.
Why not?
Senate,
they ran a successful fucking campaign.
Yeah, what?
We have
They
also
didn't rape her.
reiterated
What
that
the
Graham
fuck?
Platner must drop out of this race so that Democrats in Maine can
they had
focus
nothing
on
to do with
defeating
it.
Collins this November. We look forward to
what?
making this process public as soon as Graham Platner formally withdraws from this race.
You know, that is so fucking telling because it's not only just the obvious, like, fuck you, your vote doesn't matter, but like
absolutely.
it is a complete like rejection of the idea that like a movement or a candidate or a politician is not just a person. It is the result of like a collective effort and like social input from so many different people, and the that's just not how Democrats think. That's not how they view politics. It's a top down kind of thing.
Oh, hey, we got Nikki F610 in the chat. Hi, Nikki.
Nikki. Yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
it's
So
it's
yeah, I mean it's very bald faced. It's very bald faced. It's just, it's just you got a lot of claws digging into this, and it's just, and you have people, like, I mean, people saying like, oh no, the person that they put in Graham's place should have the opposite, because Graham, like, I've seen people try to, like, associate,
mhm.
like, a leftist, like, associate, like, straight up associate, like, leftist ideology with sexual assault. It's like,
Right.
if you believe all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just,
Yeah.
there's a lot of opportunists. There's a lot of,
Yeah.
people who are very much knowingly just jumping, who just hate leftism, hate,
Yeah.
this ideology, don't want to give people free healthcare, don't want to, a free Palestine, right? Like, they don't want any of
Yeah.
this shit, and they are doing a happy dance this week. They
Yeah.
are,
Well,
they're doing the for anybody
yeah.
here who watched My Hero Academia, they're doing the Dobby dance. They're Dobby
Oh my
dancing
god.
on Graham Platner's grave, man.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that they they're trying to draw the line, or they genuinely think, and I think there are like plenty of kind of like whacked out like threads liberals who like
Mhm,
who fucking actually think this way, which is that this is not only coming as you know, the the straw that broke the camel's back for Platner, but
mhm.
they see it as for the left movement in general, because
which
to
which is
them,
unhinged, which
yeah,
is
because
insane.
to them, like the shit that like that like Mamdani and Daria Lisa were like attacked on are real scandals. Like to them, it's like, but they talked to Hassan Piker, but they said that that 9/11 was blowback
Yeah,
correctly. like,
yeah.
like
That's what
that's
anybody who
literally it.
I've seen people who've, like, literally, like, I can't believe people would watch and support a guy. I watch a decent amount of Hassan these days. I do like Hassan. I mean, I don't agree with him on 100% of stuff, but and I think he can be kind of like a frat bro at times, that just, I find a little grating, some of his kind of frat broery tendencies, right? But, I've seen people just say like, oh, why would anybody watch and support a guy who says America deserved 9/11? And, like, okay, well, let's examine that statement. Okay, do
Right,
you think this guy who lives in America is, like, pro, terrorists coming and crashing into buildings, and, you know what I'm
right,
saying? Or do you think, like, there is some context that people who bring that up are
right.
purposefully ignoring?
Yeah, it's like that was part of like a 6-hour stream, right? Like you don't
Yeah.
want to look at like some of the words he said around it, like it's
Hmm.
because I think even on that original stream when he said it, he immediately was like, "What I mean is it's blowback. Like the
Yeah.
American government has made these decisions over and over that causes people to want to do this to us, and that's what I mean by deserve." And it's like, yeah, it's probably not the best choice of words, but
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, I mean, people are gonna fucking find something no matter what,
Right.
because there's just a lot of forces against the left here. It's um I don't know. I'm trying to pick out some of the differences between like the DSA and like general, left insurgency happening right now, and the Tea Party shit from, 15 years ago.
Hmm.
Because I think that, I think there was plenty in the media of people just being like, these people are fucking morons, like the Tea
Yeah,
Party.
absolutely.
Like, but also I feel like every time there's like uh from whatever part of the right wing spectrum it is,
Hmm.
every time there's outrage from that side, the
Hmm.
media, the Democrats, the news, whether it's Fox News or CNN or what, they
Yeah.
all just rush to be like, "Really? Well, oh, tell us more about what you think. Like, what's wrong? How can we win you back?" Like, and then the second that someone is left of Reagan, they're like, "Shut the fuck up, you fucking
Hmm.
communist!" Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I want to play this because did you see the video? So it was released a month ago. But it's recently like kind of picking up steam now as people are revisiting it, especially in the wake of just the insane collapse of his campaign. But so there's this video that was released. I'm going to play it. YouTube, because I have YouTube Premium. So I play all YouTube clips when we do this. All right. So so these people talking about finding Graham Platner. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I don't think so.
Okay. These people are a little hilarious. I think they're a little adorable, but people are like, they're demons. This is proof that they're demons,
Despite Platner's surprising ascent in Maine, little is known about the couple themselves, who agreed to sit down with us for their first extensive interview.
What was it like the day that you learned that Janet Mills was dropping out?
Oh my God.
I had a law school final in like 5 minutes after I heard.
It was crazy.
One with no phones allowed, so.
Leanne, Dan has been running a number of campaigns, including Graham Platner. At the same time, he's been a Yale law student. How, really?
Yeah, really. I've seen his transcripts. I attended his graduation.
Platner isn't the first candidate the couple has on its roster. They first met while working on Sanders' presidential campaign in 2020. By that point, Maraf had already led a progressive Democrat, Summer Lee, to win a state house seat in Pittsburgh, and Lee went on to become a member of Congress.
I really
then
like Summer
they
Lee.
set their sights on Nebraska, where they recruited Dan Osborne, an independent, to run for the Senate in 2024. Despite losing against Republican Deb Fischer,
people are
Osborne came within a historically slim margin, and now he's running again this year against another incumbent, Pete Ricketts.
What do you look for in a candidate? What do you think makes a successful candidate?
Some of these fucking Southern.
Somebody who feels authentically part of reflects the culture of the district that they come from. It astounds me how.
You remember Stickly? You remember? You remember Twiv Fipplethwap?
Yeah, Mr. Ricketts there just reminded me of T. Boone Pickens. That fucking guy, he was from like Alabama or some South. And someone's like, I'm from the South, and it's like, you're from Atlanta. Like, no, like this is fucking yeah. Oh my God. Just some of these fucking Republicans.
But we got to watch this. We got to get more of this dude's voice. This dude's voice is, if I were this dude this week, I would have, I don't know if I might have jumped out of a building. Like his voice is getting lit up. I feel so bad for this dude.
Many Democratic candidates are recent transplants to their districts. And that they have appointed themselves the right kind of person to run in that district.
I think a healthy contempt for existing Democratic Party infrastructure is really essential. That infrastructure does really horrible things to candidates and to campaigns. And
what do you mean by that?
There's this whole world of people who've built careers out of the Democratic Party and its ecosystem, and who put out the kind of campaigns where a normal person can look at it and say, this looks and sounds like shit.
How did you come to decide to come to Maine, and why Maine?
Not wrong.
God, well, I mean, I think it was the spring of 2025, and, Susan Collins is an establishment politician who's been there forever, and it's very easy to hold her accountable for the problems that we face, unless we run somebody who is even more of an establishment politician and even more responsible for the problems we face.
How did you find Graham Platner?
Poor guy.
Well, so, I mean, we went through thousands and thousands of prospects. We, through a number of means, assessed just a huge amount of people. Then, Leanne pulled up this video of this guy with an oyster farm.
My name is Graham Platner, and I live in Sullivan, Maine, the owner of Frenchman Bay Oyster Company.
And then she pulled up his FEC history and saw the money he'd given to Bernie Sanders and, some other people. And that was enough information to know that we had the best prospect that we'd.
You can't, no shade on his voice. Like, you can't help what your voice is for the most part, but like, it is fascinating because he does like this vocal fry thing, but it like, while he does that, which is like a low register thing, like if you do that, like usually you're the lower, but like at the same time, it's like pitching up.
Like, it's so funny. It actually
like it.
So I don't know if you've played Tamagotchi Life. For my wife's birthday, I bought her Tamagotchi Life, and sometimes I'll go on her island and I will create a character, and my goal is always like, because you can create a character, you can design their face, you can design their body, right, and then you can choose their voice. Right. And I try to like create the most horrifying nightmare voices that I can. But there's an option. There's like a speech pattern, right, where it's just like you can have them be like, like they can end a sentence with like an ascending pitch. And this guy sounds like it sounds like I built him in Tamagotchi Life. Like it kind of does. But wait, I think this is the part where he's getting mad roasted here.
That was enough information to know that we had the best prospect that we'd maybe ever seen.
At this point.
Yikes. Yeah, like I assume somebody already out there has like cut that directly into the Curb theme. If like the Platner drops out after grape allegation, just like
Jesus.
Curb theme playing, like
it's rough. I still don't know if I understand the full story here. Like, do they have an organization, or is it really just them kind of recruiting people?
I think they're is there something in there, Graham Platner?
They're not the fight agency, right? That's like a separate, like
handpicked by a group of independent activists: Daniel Morath, Leanne Fan, and Morris Katz. And so this was Daniel and Leanne, who so they're independent activists. I don't know if they have a company.
Yeah. See, that's the thing is like that's the problem with like Platner-esque campaigns. And why DSA has had so much success lately is because they have, over the past 10 years built up that organization a lot. And it is an organic, like, entrenching of ideas in people and people in the organization and doing actual organizing and everything that, like all the people who just won in New York, except Brad Lander. I don't know his story as much, and he left DSA. But
DSA, but I think he's like spiritually DSA or something. I have seen people. I will say this: I have seen people incorrectly say that Graham Platner was DSA or DSA endorsed. Graham Platner was not a DSA member. He is not a DSA member, nor was he ever actually officially endorsed by the DSA. They did. Put him in there. They said we encourage or we recommend you vote for him, but we can't give him a formal endorsement because of Blackwater mercenary, Nazi tattoo, cheating on his wife.
And that's the thing. That's the thing is like, but to the same point, honestly, because like the stuff like that. You don't want people just having to make this decision on their own out in the freaking wilderness. You want an organization that can enforce certain values and policy points and not be, totally like dictatorial and shit, but like it makes, you have the activist wing in New York, all these people, Mondani, Claire Valdez, Daria Liza, like, and the ones who won like state legislature seats all came directly out of DSA. So it's like the organization is made of the people, and then the people who run are made out of the organization. That is like, if we want to talk about like fucking socialism, you know, I and it's not the full picture, but like that's socialism is like, you know, integrating the people with the organization, and it's a, you know, but like that's the problem is like you if you don't have a selection process and then like a you know voter outreach and like a voter mobilization process that can account for all this shit, then you just have like these two morons just being like, this one looks good. And it's like, you know, again, like, you know, Summer Lee is fucking awesome. But the thing is, she happens to be DSA. But back when she ran, DSA wasn't as big and they weren't doing the things that they're doing now. So like that just fell into place. But like, yeah, it's you know, we've got to have a little bit of a I don't know, like a movement orientation with this stuff, and it's changing, but it's not totally changed yet.
Yeah, I mean that guy seemed like he was like being played by Nathan Fielder. Like I feel bad for him. I feel bad because I think in a vacuum he's a little cutie. Like I think like you know what I'm saying. And clearly right when they go through their history of picks, they are far more right than they are wrong. But alas, you know, it's just they were wildly wrong. Although, I mean, I think that, you know, I think I don't think we played the clip here, but further on in the clip, they do say that they paid some fucking think tank or some company, like they said, like a ton of money to vet him, right? And, you know, and then they said that, you know, the tattoo didn't come back, but the Reddit posts did, and they looked at them, and they, you know, so it was some of the Reddit posts, and they said that like they looked at them, and you know, nothing in there was like, oh, you know, and you know, it's like some of the stuff was like, you know, eyebrow raising apparently, but none of it was like, let's not run him level, you know?
Yeah, which is fair. I mean, you know, a lot of the again, these DSA people, and like Abdul El Sayed, who's also not DSA, but again, I think like he happens to be a good one.
But he's a doctor.
Yeah.
He's a very handsome doctor.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But okay. So also, have you seen the clip of Emma Vigeland? Is it Vigeland? Is that how you pronounce it?
I think it's Vigeland.
Vigeland. I mean, Emma Vigeland from the Majority Report. Have you seen the clip that's been going wide of this interview that she did like a little while back?
Well, with Platner or
no, just some random activist dude. Let me see, but just I absolutely want to get your take on this. Wait, can you see my screen? No, you cannot see my screen. Why? Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so so this clip, which you know, let's talk about it.
I've said this before. I don't really care if, say, like Bernie Sanders or AOC go home and they're a secret Nazi, but they go out and they vote for the right things. Like we're talking about politicians as. I mean,
I think these are the lines that people are talking about. Some people care about that exact thing.
But why would it matter if they're public officials and they're doing the right thing in public? I've said this before. I don't really care if
it's that's one of those Hassan like choice of words moments where it's like the point is good and it's pretty solidly made, but at the same time
it is just funny if she's getting really hammered for that. Like, oh, Emma doesn't care. Like what's the dude? H3 guy. What's his name? Like that dude
Ethan
posted
Klein,
it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Ethan Decline.
Yeah, you know, and so that dude, of course, posted that on his story. It's like, this is what, you know, the Free Palestine crowd's really about. They don't care if you're Nazis because they are Nazis, you know, like.
Shit like that. It's you know, we live in far too dumb a media space for people to speak so freely.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I mean, people talk, I mean, I'm sure that if we do this regularly and we do this
Oh yeah,
seriously and and we're devoting multiple hours a week, I'm sure both of us will say some really dumb shit at some point. I'm
yeah,
sure
yeah.
I'm capable of it. I have said some dumbass shit. And
Yeah,
so,
that's
another clip though, I want to let's talk about, where we go. Wait. Okay. All right. So I think I got to tee it up and then you got to post it because it does. I don't know if it
yeah,
gives me the option to put it live. I think you're still in the driver's seat in that regard, but
right.
yeah. So let's just watch this clip and we let's talk about let's talk about the chessboard as it stands, right? Just the just the players that still exist.
After mounting scandals and a massive drop in support, Maine's Graham Platner has ended his campaign for U.S. Senate. The Democrat posted an 11-minute video last night. He blamed the political establishment for his exit from the race and denied the allegations against him.
I just want to make it clear, this is all false.
The
things that
video
have been claimed did not happen. It's not real. We believe that for the movement to continue, it can't be made.
Waiting for the cars to pass.
Now, Maine Democrats face a July 27th deadline to choose a replacement nominee, and the pool of contenders is already growing. CBS News has learned Maine's former CDC director, that's Dr. Nirav Shah, officially announced his campaign this morning. Our Caitlin Huey-Burns spoke with him yesterday. And he says getting Maine voters involved with selecting the new candidate is crucial.
And when we think about going up against an opponent like Senator Collins, who is uniquely vulnerable this year, we need to make sure that our nominee comes out of the gate with as much strength as possible. They need a full head of steam behind them, and a strong nomination process will help generate and propel.
What does any of that mean? This is the thing with these fucking people. None of that means anything. When they talk about like a strong candidate, that I think is code for like, let's not criticize them. Let's not challenge them. Let's have one person that the party chooses and fuck you. Like, because that's, it's insane. Like this, like, let the voters have a say thing. That's what the fucking Republicans did when they like stole the Supreme Court nomination from Obama. It was like, let the voter, it's like, bro, he's still in office. We had a say. Like, it's the same shit. It's like that's what I think that
you should have fought back in some capacity, but no, I mean, it's just it just from where I'm sitting, it really feels like we're in for some disappointment. But there's one guy that I think I'm hoping ends up getting the nom, but I'm not.
CBS News political director Finn Gomez joins us now from his D.C. office with more on this. Finn, good morning to you. Platner really seemed to come off as defiant in his clip and in his statement. What do you make of that?
Yeah, absolutely, Errol. I think his message was unmistakably defiant. He spent 11 minutes adamantly denying the allegations against him, calling them false, calling them not real, and arguing that he was pushed out by the Democratic political establishment and corporate media. He also talked about the populist movement that he helped create in Maine. But regardless of how he framed it, I think, Errol, the political reality was just too much. It really shifted. These allegations were just too severe to overcome, and he lost support, as you know, not just from establishment leaders like Chuck Schumer, but from fellow progressives like Bernie Sanders. And I think you saw that sort of from national to Maine Democrats, party donors. They all abandoned his campaign and really leaving him with virtually no path forward. Errol.
So we just heard from Dr. Nirav Shah a moment ago. I want to show you former Maine Senate President and gubernatorial candidate Troy Jackson speaking before Platner dropped out of the race.
I hope gets it.
I'm definitely going to seek the nomination. There's a movement right now of people that are upset with government, and I don't want to see it die.
You got Shah, you got Jackson. How big do we expect this field of contenders, potential replacements to be?
Errol, great question. I think that is the question right now, because I think it's going to be probably pretty big, pretty crowded. Look, Troy Jackson was a gubernatorial gubernatorial contender this year. He did not win in that race, but he was backed by Who? Senator Bernie Sanders. So he immediately gets a lot of attention from progressives. Democrats have until July 27th to choose that replacement nominee.
I'm gonna just. So I just want to see if they have. Okay, so yeah,
in that race, you also.
Yeah, so they got. So these are some early contenders. Shanna Bellows, Troy Jackson, Jordan Wood, Nirav Shah. I don't know who that is. Are they going to show us? Do you know who Andrea LaFlamme is?
Oh, I did hear about this person.
Yeah, she's like this write-in candidate who like she ran on like she couldn't get the signatures together to like run for the proper primary, but she ran as a write-in candidate, and she's like blue skies anointed. Like she's like and she became like a big like reply guy on both Threads and Blue Sky and thought. But I've seen her like seriously floated as a potential person. But I do hope it's. I mean, Troy. I think just that you saw from those list of people, I don't think any of them are going to be as hot as Graham Platner. I just think that there was just the hot factor with Graham Platner. He just had that deep voice. He had those, those meaty hands, and he's a man who worked on the ocean. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, that's disappointing.
Yeah, Troy is like a trucker though, right? He's got
Troy's
a little bit of
Troy just reminds me of
lumber guy or something like
he's like a lumber guy. He reminds me of he reminds me of like one of my uncles, and none of those guys are hot. So it just you know what I'm saying. I mean, I hope that's who I'm rooting for.
It is like a total package kind of thing. It's like Mamdani, it's like, I think people were voting for his policies and shit, but like if he wasn't attractive and, the best public speaker ever, like, I don't know if it would have been quite the same.
I mean, Mamdani's like a once in a generation political talent, honestly. I mean, he's just, I mean, and when somebody's running for something major like that, especially like they haven't really been. I know that like his track record as what was he before he was the mayor? What was
assemblyman?
Yeah, assemblyman. I know that like he had a good track record as an assemblyman, right? But everybody gets a little skeptical, right? Are they going to Fetterman out on us?
Right.
And I guess we'll never know when it comes to Graham Platner.
Yeah.
But I think that like Mamdani is, I mean, just, like since getting in office is just, I don't think there's a single politician in my lifetime that I think has had a better social media game than Zoran. I mean, I'm talking like, like Bernie, right? I think like Obama was like one of the kind of the first major ones to like, like Obama like got me on social media, like got me canvassing for him, right?
Yeah.
Back when I was in college,
True. Yeah. Yeah. That was my first election was
me too.
Primary. I voted for Obama. Yeah.
And it felt like we pulled something off, and then,
yeah.
And then he was just...
Yeah, it's all part of it though. Like it all, like the movements we have now built upon that disappointment and shit, But like, it's AOC too, I think is underrated in that department. Like she's become very like I don't know what to call it, controversial or divisive. Like she's become very divisive among I mean, honestly, among the left, like there's like, you either fucking love or hate AOC if you're on the left. And
I mean,
but I think
honestly,
that's
I'm actually the rare one, I guess, that's kind of in the middle. I think that she's done. I think that I fundamentally like her. I think that she means well. Do I think that she's done some dumb/annoying stuff in her pursuit of being, in like just that, kind of the kind of stuff that like kind of tips her hand towards, oh, she wants to be like Game of Thrones style. She's playing for the top position, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like kind of like,
yeah.
you know, she's Buttigieg'd a bit, right? Where it's just like, okay, you are, you know, like when she said, oh, Kamala is, you know, working tirelessly for a ceasefire. Oh yeah, I'm sure she's just every day she's just how am I gonna get this ceasefire off? You know, like it's just the number one thing on my mind. You know?
Yeah, just hair frazzled, like she's on the phone, like get me Netanyahu. Like
yeah,
like, I don't know about that.
It just and then you know she like AOC says that, and what it's like 3 nights later, Kamala goes on the same stage. She's like, "We're gonna have the most fucked up military. We're gonna be carpet bombing entire civilizations. We're gonna have the most lethal military ever."
yeah. No, it was bad. I mean, look, like I think what I was gonna say honestly is that I think she's overlooked a little bit because she's so divisive, and I don't envy her being kind of the first of this like modern insurgency, because a lot of pressure and expectations were put on her in a way that I just don't think was possible for her to meet, you know, because like she went in there and there were fucking like 4 of them in Congress, and they tried like, you know, they tried some stuff. There was some stuff I wish they had coordinated on, but like, I do think, and you know, curious what you think, but I am coming around to the idea that like, if we're gonna have a president that's not 100 and not a ghoul, I think it's AOC. Like, I think if we want there to not be a Republican president and not be like a Democratic establishment person, and if we want DSA to have any support from the executive, I think it's got to be AOC.
I mean,
I can't think of another Democrat off the top of my head who could even win the election. You know what I mean? Like,
I like Ro Khanna. I do like the way he talks.
Yeah, I just don't think he's got like, I don't think he has the juice, and I don't think he has the
name recognition yet.
Yeah. It just feels like he's
Graham Platner's free. I'm Graham Platner.
Oh God.
It's just like, you know what? They wouldn't let me in the airplane bathroom, so I ran straight for the cockpit. You know, I mean, I think that right now, being 2026, right? I think so much is hypothetical. I think that she has been very much, you know, I mean, she's winning a lot of early polls, right? I mean, I think that she's better than, the news that, Gavin Newsom circling it, right? Even though he just is just a Ken doll. He's got no brains. He just sits on a pod. He invites Republicans on his podcast, and then just Joe Rogan style just lets them get off their entire, you know, manifesto without ever pushing back, right? Like, just no, thank you. AOC actually has, you know, principles and standards, right? Kamala is, you know, apparently, you know, you saw that article about like how she's met with, you know, Mamdani, and she's met with a lot of pro-Palestinian activists. It's like, you know, it's like Hank the Cancer's back, you know, it's just, you know, it's just, I'm sure that she will cosplay the same way that she was pro-Medicare for all for a minute, right? Like, you know, like, I mean, I'm sure that she will say what she feels she needs to say to get it. I mean, of everybody that's like prospective currently, she is my favorite, but you know, we'll see how the next few years go.
That's the thing, and it's just, you know, I feel like, you know, if we could like, you know, pluck out anyone from anywhere, my like reach for the moon choice is Jesse Ventura, because
hell yeah.
I think here's the thing. I genuinely like his position on like a lot of stuff. Like, like when you actually, you know, it's fun to like make fun of him and he's a little insane, but like, but when you actually get down to it, it's like, no, he's pretty good on like foreign policy. I think he'd be decent when it comes to like social programs and shit.
I don't know much about him. Is he like, how progressive is he? Because he was like a governor or some shit, right?
Yeah, he was, I think, an independent governor of Minnesota.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't know if he like branded himself as sort of a libertarian or if he just sort of like fell into that because he was sort of a conspiracy guy. He like did appear with like Alex Jones, 15 years ago and stuff. So like,
I mean, hey, I mean,
yeah,
that is, say what you want about the guy. He is a good luck charm. It worked twice. You know what I'm saying? It's worked two out of 3 times, and that ain't bad.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like he's like very good on like, let's stop like doing these stupid military excursions and let's take care of people at home and like yeah, I don't know, the specifics aren't coming to mind exactly, but like yeah, he's like actually a fairly like smart political actor, and but also I think he's just like incoherent enough that it would make a lot of sense to like the average American. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I think a lot of Americans are not like, I'm a socialist, I'm a right winger, I'm a Republican. I'm like, no, people are like I like that person. I like this idea. I like that idea. I like this completely unrelated person. So it's like I do think he's the right like mix and match, and he's a former WWE guy who which Trump is too. And I think if we really wanted like the anti-Trump, like I think it's the other insane 80-year-old.
I mean, I do think that that being kind of a chud, as they call them, right? I think that's probably part of it. I think that's part of what Graham, I think that authenticity is matters more than it had. I think like back in like 2016. There was that, the woke movement, right? Like you had like, identity politics, mattered a lot more. And you had a lot of people who were secretly evil, who didn't give a shit, and you have all these companies that were just, wait, we have somebody in the chat. Ditoe. As a parasocialist Hassan fanboy, I'm shocked that the guy with the Nazi tattoo who did war crimes and went back to be a Blackwater merc turned out to be a bad guy. Yes, that is the joke that everybody makes. Nice.
Did you write that yourself?
Yeah. Whoa,
Wow. I know how to use copy and paste too.
That's like the July 2026 equivalent of saying, I hate the word moist, like, or it's like, oh, Nickelback.
You know what it
sucks.
is? It's like cool, butter emails. It's saying butter emails in like 2019.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know how long this person's been watching us, but like we talked about, like, people were so starved. That actually kind of serves my point, right? People were so starved for authenticity, right, that they get a guy with all of these major red flags, like red flag, red flag, and we're just like, no, I'm riding with this dude. I'm riding with Platner, right? Because he seems, when he talks, he seemed authentic, right? And I think that authenticity is going to matter, right? And I also think that, like, if the way that, like, if you're a 2028 Democratic nominee or wannabe Democratic nominee for president, promise to just take a sledgehammer to this shit and just like people are gonna go to jail, like we're gonna be arrested mofos, like just you say that to me, man, it's just like I'll fall you into the ocean, man, like you know what I'm saying?
That I think is like the biggest hurdle for AOC, because not that she isn't, like, I think she has this very personable like social media personality and stuff, that she does Instagram lives and talks directly to people and stuff. But but at the same time, it's like, yeah, well, why did you say that shit at the convention? Why did you, why are you playing it so safe with this thing and whatever?
Because they
So
were
like,
trying to get her in office because she wanted some cool thing. It's just, I mean, I think like, you watch the show Veep, you watch the show House of Cards, that like, like the progressive senator comes in the room with like the Nazi Republican. It's just like, so if I'm going to back your thing, then you got to do something for me. Like, I think like that. I think that's a documentary, man. Like, I think like it's just like these people are more, I think like to succeed in Washington, you need to be playing there. You need to be playing Game of Thrones. Like that's just what you have to do.
And I do think that like, it's, but like because I do think that she plays it safe sometimes in ways that like, is she going to be able to oh my god, this is the most fucking annoying guy.
AOCIA is just Ann Small Bean Barista, who interned for Ted Kennedy, went on volunteerism in Africa with USAID and backed Bolivian coup. She's just like us. I mean, I'm not saying she's just like us.
Yeah.
Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's just I think that like there's this is like bad empanada brain right here. This guy in the comments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where, it's this like, I hate all these people, all these people. There's a reason most candidates for office, I'm sure you could go and you could produce a factoid about why they suck ass, right? Like, I'm sure that like every person who runs, I'm sure if this DTOA guy or person or, woman or whatever, right? They, them, whatever, right? Like I assume that if this person ran for office, we could probably pull up their Reddit history or pull up some shit that they did.
No, they're perfect.
Yeah, no. You know what I'm saying? But I think there's this there's like the bad empanadification of politics where it's just like, I know 3 or 4 facts about this person, which means that they're entirely evil. But I think that you really need to think of it as like strategy, and you got to like, am I team, Democrat or am I team? I mean, like, I think like ultimately I want like, like a leftist ideology. I want like, if we could anoint a new FDR, I would love that. Right. Like I think that like, but I do think that, ultimately I voted Kamala as, as the harm reduction vote. And I had misgivings about it, but it's just, I do think that like she would be objectively better and we'd be in objectively, it might not be perfect, might not be great, right? But we would be in a better situation. I don't think we would be less than a month away of running out of our oil reserves. And I don't think that, you know what I'm saying? Like
and the thing is also like for one thing, politicians are tools in the tool belt. Like, I want, again, like what my point was that I think AOC could be FDR, but she's just got to be bolder on certain things that she isn't.
Yeah.
But I do think that, come as you are, she is like, the best that I can see right now ally that DSA could have in the office of the presidency.
Yeah,
I don't particularly like her as a person. I don't fucking know her. Like, like I don't care. It's not about that. And these people just like, it's like, here's the thing. Like, what's the alternative? Is there an alternative person that this person has in mind who could actually win the presidency? Do they have some path to revolution that I'm not aware of? But like,
DTOA,
yeah,
you in the chat, who do you like? Who would you, in your opinion, like to see run for office that you would heartily support? Like, it just parasocialist, Hassan fanboy. Like you got like all of the fucking Reddit slang down. You got all of the, all of the Twitter, shit post,
all the buzzwords,
shit,
and it's because people don't seem to understand these things. And this is again why, like, it was hard to look at Platner and be like, no Platner.
They like Daria
Lisa is probably the best of a bad bunch.
I do think that it is. Okay, well, we're going to agree with that because I do think that it was rock star moment that like they made like the fuck Kamala like tweet into like this dope looking poster.
Oh, that was great. And I think
her.
that's
And it was like, and it was meant to like be like, look at how radical and crazy she is. But people are like, oh, nice. Yes, indeed. Fuck her. Because she's a big part of the reason why we are here in this nightmare political moment. It was her limp dick attempt at candidacy, like, is part of why we're here. Right.
Yes.
You know, so I do her.
And it's funny too, because Daria Lisa was trying to play it down and apologize during the debates and stuff, and then it was just turns out that I don't think anyone cares. But also like here's the thing about this answer.
Everybody, that's a rallying cry where I'm from, bro. I voted for her, but again, you said right. Like, politicians are tools. If you lose, fuck them. Like I was pro Graham before it was socially unacceptable, right? But now it's just like, well, actually, no, fuck you. I'm mad. I paid you money. I donated money to you before I knew about the tattoo and everything, right? I'm mad that I donated to you. I just, you know what I'm saying? I feel let down. Like you were only as good as your ability to win, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, not like if somebody loses, automatically fuck them, but if your inability to support the right things, be the right kind of person, right? Okay, she needs to get the DSA Red Guards and storm into Congress and arrest all those bastards. I mean, I think like here's the thing. Like Daria Lisa, maybe in a few years, if she does a good job, like in the role she's most certainly going to get when the general happens, right? Because there's really, it just the Democrat always wins that, right? But like, who do you like that has a realistic shot at 2028?
Oh, they're not going to have an answer to that. See, this is the thing, and this answer I think is based on the fact that like Daria Lisa had a cool poster that said "fuck Kamala," and it's like, you don't even know like people want a perfect candidate like Claire Valdez is someone else who won at the same time as Daria Lisa, who's got like a super hardcore like labor organizing background and shit. And I should run above. Sure,
hell yeah.
And but this is the thing.
I mean,
like
if they take off term limits, I mean, just let's Batman v Superman this.
But this is the thing is like people need to think about like what is the actual alternative now, because it's either you have someone like AOC or you're gonna get President Gavin Newsom or President JD Vance or President Tucker Carlson. That's what's going to happen. And it's going to be more genocide, and it's going to be more fucking Iran shit. And it's going to be, because even if like Kamala Harris probably wouldn't they were talking about attacking Iran. So I don't know, but like they probably wouldn't have done this dumb shit the way that Trump has. And it's like, okay. But what Democrats tend not to do is fix what Republicans fuck up. So it's like, if, but like they don't fix what Republicans actually fuck up. So like without, at least like these reformist, people that we're talking about, you're just going to get more of the same, just moving in the same fucking direction. Oh, okay, shut up. Now, Newsom's more like, Newsom's gonna do it. Oh, AOC betrayed the left, man. Newsom's gonna do it.
Okay, so Dito A said Newsom has spoken out about cutting funding to Israel. He's more likely to actually be able to do it. I promise you, if Newsom gets into office, he's not going to do. He's going to be a Republican that's slightly cooler to the gays. Like he is going to, you know what I'm saying? Like he is not going to. Okay, sweet. Okay, we can't get comments on screen. Sweet. Okay, yeah. So it took Nixon to recognize the PRC. Sure. Okay. Sure.
And how is that? How has everything been since then? I mean, it's great for China. It's great for the PRC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It took Nixon, but yeah. So anyway, I think that we've talked a bit about that. I do want to move on to happier news. Can we move on to happier news?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do
This
it.
is you. Let's focus on. It's crazy, right? That this situation has been ongoing, and it is not the most pressing news of the day. That it is crazy because this is just. I think this is a feel good story that we can all get behind. If you want to pull that up on the screen. A U.S. senator might be legitimately dead.
Emergency responders taking Senator Mitch McConnell to an ambulance. The neighbor who shot the video told CNN the Capitol Police blocked the street and other neighbors reported seeing McConnell's face. This was a month ago, and it comes nearly a month after a spokesperson for McConnell first reported that the senator has been hospitalized, but few other details have been released. Let's get to Andy Greer, who helped break this story. So talk to us about this video and how it fills in the pieces of the puzzle.
So, John, what I heard from a neighbor of McConnell's around 8:30 in the morning.
Okay, I want to go back. I love the face he was. Look at that face. Look at the face he was making. Just like this is. This is really, it's like you want to, we're going to go with this one. This is not a better one. There's like, we can't, we can use like a high school fucking prom photo or some shit. Like, does it have to be this one? Because Trump's in it? Like.
So, John, what I heard from a neighbor of McConnell's around 8:30 in the morning on June 14th, this neighbor opened their door to commotion on the street. They saw 2 ambulances, a fire truck, and Capitol Police had blocked off the entire road. So this neighbor stayed on the street to try and figure out what was going on. And about half an hour later, at around 9 o'clock in the morning, this neighbor saw a person from McConnell's home being carried on a stretcher into an ambulance and said that they saw this person was wrapped in a blanket and that their feet was exposed, and that another neighbor standing next to them identified McConnell's face and saw that McConnell wasn't wearing an oxygen mask. So the firsthand witness that I spoke to said that they tried to ask Capitol Police what was going on, and all they were told was it was a medical emergency. They wouldn't confirm who it was for. And these new details come as we know very little about Senator McConnell's condition, why he was brought to the hospital on June 14th, and why he remains there.
Joining us right now is emergency physician, Dean of the Yale School of Public Health, Dr. Megan Ranney. It's great to see you, Dr. Ranney. Clearly, Mitch McConnell is not your patient. So having said that, the neighbor sees that he's taken out on a stretcher. There's EMS audio of emergency responders being called to the home for an unconscious person for cardiac arrest. Someone is heard saying CPR in progress. How serious is this case if this comes into your hospital?
You know, it's difficult to reconcile the video that you've just shown with the story that we'd heard earlier about there being CPR in progress. So let's start from the beginning. You get a call to EMS about someone being unconscious. We send an ambulance crew out to assess. The causes of unconsciousness are myriad, ranging from seizures, which I and others have speculated that Senator McConnell may be having based off of those episodes where he freezes on camera. Could be that. It could be that he fell and hit his head. It could be a cardiac arrest with your heart stopping. So you get the call, the ambulance, the EMS specialist go.
It's very it's very Susie, and it's very like, first we must find out what it's not, you know. To find out if Mitch McConnell is alive, we must find out if he's dead, you know. I mean, but I mean, it is just hilarious to me that we had a fucking like a Newsweek where a sitting U.S. senator might have passed on,
secretly dead. Yeah,
it might be if secretly unalive, like for a month potentially, right? And that is not the most pressing. That's just a testament to like how much the news now like is just kind of slanted towards Republicans, right? Because if if this were fucking, you know, I mean, Bernie, right? Ed Markey, right? One of these, you know, old as rock senators, right? On the left side, right? And we found out that, like, oh, they had like this major event a month ago and nobody's seen them publicly since. And they might have passed already, but they don't, but for political reasons, they're not sharing that because they don't want to vacate a seat before they can, like, you know, line up a replacement, right? Like, or whatever their reason is, right?
Fucking crazy.
Like how crazy is it? That would be front page news if Bernie Sanders had been secretly dead for a month, right? That would be front page news. That would be like the only thing that people, and just, this is what the Democrats do. They run, you know, it's just crazy.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I you know, it also it's something about the 24-hour news network too. Cause I remember, like, during that clip, I thought of this for some reason. Just like, I remember 20 fucking years ago, people being like, this 24-hour news cycle is crazy. And it's, you know, we're on to the next thing so quickly. And I'm like, there were still, like, you know, multi-month long, like, news events back then. Like,
well, I mean, because they keep new chapters keep opening up, right?
Right. Yeah. It's just like this shit is like so to the minute because, like, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of factors, but the Trump Steve Bannon flood the zone thing has to be part of it in accelerating it lately. But yeah, it's just, again, McConnell's he's going out doing what he loves, which is obstruction. Just like his arteries,
franchising the will of the people. Just
yeah. Like, it's so crazy. Like, can you just fucking, like, that's the whole, like, Democratic Party method for years has just been like, why don't you guys just do the rules? And it's like, well, they're not going to. But yeah, it's a little crazy how he's just like, a guy can't even just die anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that, like, at a certain point, right, like, keeping people in office that long is elder abuse, you know, which is very funny because I'm probably going to be in Boston, the Boston area. I'm literally going to be signing up next month to stump for to canvass for Ed Markey, you know, who is 80, right? But it's just like, he's better than Seth Moulton. I just need to, I need Seth Moulton to lose, you know?
I fucking hate him. He's such a fucking snake. Like,
crazy.
But yeah. And it's, I mean, that's the thing is, like, I don't want to, like, I don't know how I feel about term limits, to be honest, because, like, you know, if FDR had lived, would I want him to be kicked out of office because he was too good and too winning? Like, no. Like, he understood, he broke the unwritten rule at the time because he was like, I'm doing a political project. You need some time to do that.
Yeah.
And but
I mean, I think that the 2-term limit presidents is very much like, because it's, they barely get enough time to do fucking anything, and then they get 8 years. Like, you know, I mean, part of, like, I think why Trump has been so effective in his second term is because, you know, Project 2025, and they had those 4 years to really build a foundation that, like, if our guy wins again, we have the playbook, we have the strategy. We just need our dude in the seat, and we can just start press and play on a lot of shit. And I think that if Trump had won in 2020, it would have sucked for another 4 years, right? But then, you know, we would have been seeing, like, you know, 2024, you know, probably, I mean, you know, you never know, right? But I would say probably a landslide victory for whoever was on the left, especially if they ran somebody who actually, you know, who had the Obama level of talking and you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, maybe you could have seen, like, a Gavin Newsom win and, like, you know, just soar ahead and shit, right? This person's favorite presidential nominee. But yeah, but I don't know, man. It's just we're just like just everything is just like, man, just like looking at the news, it's like we're so fucked. Like all of this fucked.
Yeah. I am very hopeful about DSA. You know, I would really like to get out and like do some real shit with them at some point, because like you know, I think for the most part, like, you know, I don't know, you might feel the same way. Like, I think what I have to offer in many ways is this is like making shit and putting out
I gotta watch
videos
your
and
new
stuff.
video on YouTube. I just saw that you posted a new video.
Oh yeah,
Gotta watch it.
talking about commentary, commentating on commentary.
Just been watching too much Gooner anime. Just I gotta. It goes from like just Majority Report to Hassan to Gooner anime to to playing Pal World, man. Those are my days these days.
Yeah, but you know, I don't want to just like, because I think, I don't know, I don't want to just be a content guy, because I think there's something to be said for getting out there and being part of it. But yeah, I'm very hopeful about DSA, because
pretty much my mix too from Chris.
Chris.
Hell yeah.
This is Chris. Also, this is a real person. This is someone I know.
This is a real person that
I don't know who that other fucking person was.
I mean, hey, I'm grateful that they were one of our. How many viewers have we got in this stream? I've my peak was 3, but I'm down back to 1 on my stream personally.
Okay.
But you know, I'm thankful for all of you. I'm thankful for this person. It was just very interesting though that they had like all of like the, you know, all of the Hassan and AOC jabs all ready to, then we're like, when you when we press them on like who they like, they're like Gavin Newsom.
Right. Oh my God. That's the like I, you know, and Chris, like, you know, I hope we can still be friends, Chris, because I am now kind of a DSA guy, but
wait, is Chris? I don't know about Chris's politics. Is Chris not a DSA guy?
Yeah, Chris is a friend from a socialist organization that
oh, nice.
I think we were both part of the same one, maybe not at the same time. Good. I love and respect the other tendencies of socialism and whatever. But yeah, you know, I think what was I saying? Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful about DSA, because I do think that you know, it's at least a political project, and it's moving, I think, the right direction. And if nothing else, I think that it is, maybe they have found a method of engaging in US politics that can actually increase class consciousness and move people over to a central location. So
DSA has had an amazing summer. I think the worst thing, it speaks volumes when like really the worst thing that happened to the DSA was just people this week were just trying to blame them for Graham Platner. We're just like, take this DSA, but it's like, actually, well, we didn't have anything that we gently suggested vote for him if you like, you know, decent things, you know, but we weren't throwing any money behind him. We weren't throwing any, you know, any real firepower behind him, you know.
Yeah,
but that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing you can say about the DSA right now, is that you can be uninformed and say that they sponsored Graham Platner.
yeah, like because the thing is, like, they keep trying to say, oh, the DSA is so white, and it's just white upper middle class, whatever, and it's like, it's not true, and it's also not true for sure in the candidates. It's like every fucking candidate that's winning is like a model minority, like who just has the best track record. And
Chris asked, Justin, did you stand up? If so, I'm pretty sure we met once. I have stood up many a time. I did stand-up comedy for 10 years. Now I write unhinged children's books under my moniker Mr. Shushy. That is what I do these days. Although, you know, I mean, here's the thing. Someday I might return. I do. There are aspects of stand-up comedy I do miss. It's just
Same.
it's just a lot of it's mostly the people that you got to deal with, and just the assholes you need to lick, you know.
Right. It's just the places you got to be and the people you have to
Yeah,
be
exactly.
around,
The
and
people I got to be around. Okay, we did meet in Abington. Probably, I was everywhere. I was, you know, I was like AI. I was just into everything, places I shouldn't be. But yeah, so I don't know, man. It's just so fucked. Okay. So okay, we did the. Okay, so we've been on for an hour and 20 minutes. Oh, I was awesome. Chris McItaly says I was awesome, and
yeah.
thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for thinking that. Like I said, I would do it again if it was like you hear stories about like Maria Bamford and like Patton Oswalt who they got like the right credit where people knew who they were and they were able to like bypass like the open mic structure. Like that's kind of like
Right.
how it's just like kind of like how like when I was coming up, there was this dude, Rydoon, who I watched at an open mic, Grandma's Basement in Boston once. Like, this is like maybe like 2011. And I watched him bomb. I watched him bomb miserably. And then like kind of like tear into the audience. And I was on the outside of most of like the clique. And I was like, fuck yeah. Like you fucking take them down, man. And then he like within like a year he blew up on like Vine. Like this is back when Vine was still a thing.
Oh,
And then but
yeah.
he blew up on Vine in such a way and he became like where like I would go on dates with girls and they would know who Rydoon was. Like he was like that popular for a minute that like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would get laid on that dude's name. And thank you, Rydoon, if you're watching. It's just
Yeah.
like I've done comedy with him and I've been funny pretty much every time. Been funnier pretty much every time.
Yeah.
But this dude went from like open mic to like headlining clubs
That's crazy.
without the material and would like be doing it's like, okay guys, now I'm gonna do some live vines. Like it's just, bro, you don't have 40
no.
minutes. Why are you here, man?
Yeah. That's so funny. That's like when when I used to live in Philly. I live in Philly now, but I used to too. Uh I I worked at Helium for a bit. I was like an usher, and I just remember like sometimes on the weekends during the day on the weekends they would have like a YouTuber come in or something. It was always some fucking like 20-year-old I had never heard of who had like 40 million followers. But like, yeah, it was like they would do something on stage for like 25 minutes and then it was just a meet and greet the rest of the time.
And it was not comedy and it was not entertaining.
Yeah.
And they were not
I don't know what I don't know how I would even define it, but yeah,
then last year I went and saw do you know who Chuck Tingle is? The author Chuck Tingle writes a lot of like very, very funny erotica. Like if you've ever seen like a like very unique cover, like book covers for this erotica, but he always used like stock photo models of like really hot people, right? And then it's always like pounded in the butt by Bigfoot, or absolutely railed by the vague notion of of whatever, right? Like just some existential concept, right?
Yeah.
And very funny, right? But he's written like but on the back of those, right, he got popular. My camera just got way worse for some reason. Anyway, but he got popular off of like some of those erotica covers went viral, and he got very popular off of that. And then he got a book deal, and he wrote Camp Damascus, and he wrote a book I read, Bury Your Gaze, which is he's queer, so everything he does is very queer coded. And then he's had a couple more. I think he just had a new one, right? But I saw his book tour, and it was just essentially him doing an hour of comedy. It was essentially an hour of comedy, and he held the room's attention, and he had like a PowerPoint behind him, and he was very funny, and he was very energetic, right? And so like so it was like if like my books ever take off or my writing or anything takes off, like where I actually had an audience, I would absolutely return to stand up in a way that I could fill a small room of people and do what I want to do and not have to deal with, just the people who have, just
I got to impress some guy who did some things that he's been chased out of the scene for.
Oh yeah. There's for those not in the know, there was a long time club owner, a guy who owned a club for decades, who ran his club like cult leader, like where it's you had to kiss the ring. And I played the game enough that I got comic in residence at that club for a month back in June of 2016. But then, the dude had a series of Graham Platner style fuck ups and just bad things, and then was pressured to leave. I actually was one of the people. I made a couple posts, I think, like, why is he still the leader of your club? And he eventually left, and now is, from what I've heard, rumor has it, might be nearly homeless in Buffalo, New York. That's what I hear, or just kind of just a little down and out in Buffalo, New York. But don't take my word for that. That's just rumors and gossip. But hey, maybe it's humbled him. Maybe he'd be a much nicer, kinder guy to talk to, because
you should run for Senate.
You should run for Senate, man. Because like I would just like talk to him, and I'd like mention like a comedian I like, and he'd literally like, I remember I forget the name of the comedian, but I did tell him, it's like, oh, I really like this comedian, because he was like, oh, he gave me shit about laughing at my own jokes on stage, and I was like, oh, but this guy does it, and I really like him. And he literally says to me, he literally goes, I famously do not like that comic. Like, I'm sorry, dude. I don't have the fucking almanac of everybody you love and hate.
Oh, I hate that shit. Yes.
I'm sorry.
That takes me back. Takes me back.
I'm sorry. I forgot I was talking to the Kingmaker. Like, I'm just trying to talk to you like a person, man. But there's just that it's that hierarchy bullshit, man. It's that hierarchy bullshit, which is and I think relating it back to politics, which is what the show is, right? Like, I think like that is like, you're seeing some of that with like the establishment with these DSA wins, right? Where you're seeing some of that where it's like these people are like, like, you didn't go through the normal paths to get here, like you're not supposed to unseat incumbents, but it's just like, if they suck and their voters are unhappy, then they deserve to. It's just, you are working for them. You are working for the voters. So if the voters tell you to fuck off, then you get the fuck out, and you know what I'm saying? Or if the voters is like, hey, this time we're doing free healthcare and free in Palestine, like the main Democratic party does not get to come in, or should not, I wish in a perfect world, would not get to come in and subvert that. But I mean, we'll see. We got 2 weeks, we got 2.5 weeks.
I mean, they can't conceive of like a movement, because they're not a movement. They're just like a top down, like patriarch over the politics of the supposed left in America. And
they're gig workers. They're
but it's like, but like, the accusations of like, you don't care about the Democratic Party, you're just like taking out these easy blue seats and shit. It's like, of course. Like, we're getting in however we fucking can. Like, we like, the Green Party has been running for 25 years or 35 years, and they haven't fucking gotten anywhere. So we're trying this because like, we need to start somewhere. And like, you know what? I do think that DSA can win in Nebraska and Iowa and shit, but I think they're going to win first in New York City.
Possible.
Yeah. So, but it's like, you need a proof of concept somewhere.
I mean, it's probably like a steeper climb than it was in the districts where all the, on the blue Tuesday or whatever we're going to call it, right? The DSA, DSA day, DSA D-Day, where we had like, like all the, just fucking Zoran just fucking ran the gauntlet just with, I think every one of his recommendations, every one of his nominations or whatever, right? Like his endorsements won, right? Like he endorsed like 8 or 9 people across like multiple things, and just, you know what I'm saying? Like I think
right. But that's like, I don't think that, I don't know if they could win in Nebraska today, but like in 2 years after like seeing, a couple of years of these people in office, and like, and people just start to go like, I don't know, like I was taught to fear the word socialist, but I don't think any of this is all that bad, and we need something new. Like, I think that's how people think.
I mean, going back to Zoran, like I think Zoran is just, we're going to look back at him as like a historical political talent, because I think that part of why we're having such a good summer for the DSA is because I think that he's done so much to just like popularize democratic socialism, because he, I mean, and I've seen people dispute, oh, he didn't really balance the budget, he didn't really do this or that, right? Or every accomplishment that he's gotten right since taking office has been a technicality. And I mean, here's the thing, I'm not in a position to argue that, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? But I will say that yeah, you are, right? Because you're smarter than me, and you're the smart one. I'm the pretty one. But I'm the bad boy. You're the brains. But I do think that he has, at the very least, right, just been the best PR for democratic socialism that there has ever been. And I think that because of just the impression people get, because he is so good at social media, because he is so good at it just everything, every new thing that he comes out with, it's just like, this was a part of our agenda. Here's footage of Andrew Cuomo saying that we can't get it done. Here's us getting it done, right? And he's been able to do that like 3 or 4 times now, right? And he's just been such good PR for the democratic socialism. And I think he's really helping. I think like, it's just, the problem is that a lot of like Obama ran on hope and change, right? And things got incrementally a little bit better, but they didn't feel, they
wasn't
didn't feel
transformational.
Better. It wasn't transformational. And also, he did some like the bailouts, right? Like you immediately had like the Wall Street bailouts. You would immediately, where it's just like, oh, he is also a slave to the, to the ruling class,
Right. And the thing is, we had no reason really to think that he wouldn't be. Like, I see these comparisons now, and they're like, Mom, Donnie's just Obama. And I'm like, no, because like, again, it's like, we're like old enough at this point that I feel like I can be like, no, guys, I was fucking there. It wasn't this.
It was not Obama. Like, once he got in office, like it felt like, I mean, there were a couple cool things, like gay marriage was like a big one, where it's like, oh, we've come such a far way, right? Like gay marriage is legal now, right?
I mean, that took until his second term, and it was the Supreme Court. But
the first term, right? Like I remember like being like 3 months into his first term, and I was working at Walmart as a cashier in Biddeford, fucking Maine, or it was Biddeford, I'm pretty sure. And there was like a dude, wearing an Obama shirt, and so I was like, I canvassed for Obama last summer, and he was like, oh, that's so cool. And he's like, yeah, I worked on his campaign. I was one of the yada, yada, yada. Right. And then he's like, we got to get him reelected. And I was like, well, let's see first. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we got to get him reelected. Why? Is the goal just winning? Is that the only goal here?
Right. Yeah. The thing is, like, even when he was running, though, I don't know if people, like, I don't know if people realize that, like, he was not running against the Democratic establishment, or whatever we want to call it. Like that was not the thing. Like, he was not a Bernie Sanders. He was like, just a little different, and people were still like nostalgic for Clinton in the 90s. It was a very different time.
Can we highlight this comment that just came in?
I have rules about what rules?
Yeah. Wait, can we highlight? Can we pull their comment up on screen?
Oh yeah. Oh, show. Here we go.
Okay, so you want to be radicalized, but you have rules about what people are allowed to challenge you on. Who said
what?
At what point did you or I say that?
I don't know. What are the rules, bro?
What is this? Yeah, what are the rules? I require elaboration. XNF, XNF. Your rules say it's a socialist stream. What? Oh, that's a you
Did
thing.
I write this
That's
somewhere?
a you thing. That's not what Mr. Shushy says. Mr. Shushy just has radicalized me and then the date.
Yeah.
It's a socialist. Yeah, it's a socialist stream. XNF, XNF. You know.
So it's a socialist stream. Did I say you're not allowed if you're not already a socialist?
No,
I don't understand why you think
no
that's
non-socialists allowed. Only the proletariat is allowed in this. Okay, we could get rid of this comment.
I don't even know what okay. In the profile on Twitch, I have socialist news reacts with socialist news reacts and analysis with Joe and Justin. Follow on Twitch and subscribe. Is that what you mean?
So you don't even know your own rules in the chat. See, this is all you, Joe. This is the way that you set up your stuff.
I literally don't. I was just talking about how I'm fucking old and I don't know if I wrote something somewhere, but you don't seem to be able to tell me what it is. So you can
also we should remove
tell
this
me or leave. I don't really care.
Okay, but yeah. So all right. Okay. Well,
yeah, you're not allowed to challenge us. And
you can challenge us on anything. You're allowed to challenge us on anything. Okay, so you only got a couple more minutes, right? You got to take off. Okay, so there is because I do want to end all of these with a fun one. I want to end all of these. I don't want so they can be sometimes politics adjacent, but sometimes they're just stuff that just makes me giggle. Okay, question for you: have you been following the Anthony Fantano / Halsey drama?
Oh yeah, I heard a little about this from you.
So basically, I think it was like a year or 2 years ago. It was like a year and a half ago. It was a while ago now. Halsey released an album that I thought was really good, by the way. I thought the Halsey album was really good. There's a song on it called I Believe in Magic that made me cry the first time I listened to it, and I sent it to my mom, and then she told me she cried, and we had a little bonding moment, and it was a really nice moment for me and my mom. And then a week later, mean old Anthony Fantano. Can we get this video up on the screen? Mean old Anthony Fantano releases a fucking review of the album, and it's it gives her album a 1. He gives it a 1 out of 10, right? 1 out of 10. And Halsey fans and just Twitter in general just revolt, as they tend to do with Fantano. Fantano just his reviews tend to his reviews he acts like it's he always acts baffled when it happens, but his reviews can really sway public opinion, right? He gave Chance the Rapper's The Big Day a 0 out of 10, which I don't think it's a great album, but I don't think it's a 0 out of 10. I think there's some really great songs on it, right? But his 0 out of 10 really became the narrative, and really, even though it had some really glowing reviews from other outlets, the 0 out of 10 kind of held a lot of weight, and it kind of fucked his career for a few years, right? So anyway, so what happens, right, is that years go by, a year and a half or however long goes by after this, just Halsey fans and just, people in general just are dogging him still about this review, because in it, he says that she has a case of main character syndrome, right? But this is an album that she wrote about her battle with fucking leukemia, right? So it's just you're going to feel like the main character if there's a disease that you're fighting, right? And so
also, if you put out an album, you're generally the main character of it.
Yeah, and it's ironic because the way that he's acted a lot of this, right, is main character syndrome, right? Totally, just personified, right? But they get into it on social media. She starts tweeting about it a couple years later when somebody brings it up, and then Fantano fights back, and they have a war of words, right? And that was a couple weeks ago, and then it kind of laid dormant again. But then today, Fantano released this video on his Needle Drop channel, which is the channel he does his reviews on. So it's not on his secondary channel, Fantano. It's on his main channel, the Needle Drop, and it says, "Addressing my most hated review." So let's watch. We're going to skip around in this, but I love this. I love this.
Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. And it's time to talk about the most hated and controversial review I have on this YouTube channel. My review of Halsey's The Great Impersonator. Now, I'm no stranger to takes I've given on this channel dogging me for years, and sometimes the very persistent fan comments and reactions will cause me to go back and listen to the record again. This can result in reactions where I more or less feel justified in my feelings and circle back around to give my thoughts more thoroughly. But sometimes I do actually change my mind with a little or a lot of audience pressure. Generally speaking though, this is a pretty rare occasion, as I've put out thousands of reviews over the years on this channel literally, and I still stand 10 toes down for the vast majority of all of them. My point is, there have been lots and lots of examples of viewers being unhappy with a certain take I've given, which is fine. I'm not right about everything, and at the end of the day, I'm mostly just stating my preferences. The debate around the Halsey review doesn't feel like it's coming down to just a subjective misalignment on what we think feels or sounds good when it comes to music we're listening to. It's less to do with that and more to do with, I guess, the content of my character, which in the eyes of this review's many detractors is that I'm evil. An evil misogynist bully who exists purely to attack women, or a woman dealing with a severe illness, specifically in this case. For context, Halsey recently commendably fought lupus, a process she says took 8 years from those initial symptoms that regularly impacted her well-being and health, to finally getting the diagnosis and chemo treatments needed for a more stable and comfortable life. Now, attacks on my character over a music review are also nothing new to me. For more times than I can count, people have tried to put my musical preferences onto something severely wrong with me. He's not mentally all there. He's a misogynist. He's a bigot. He's Italian, which is not something I usually get too in the weeds on, but this is one of the few occasions where it has made headlines. I'm not just simply coming on here to inflate the importance of a few unhinged Twitter stans, because these are now sentiments that have been echoed by Halsey herself. Who cares he gave a bad review? I care that a pay-for-clicks reaction YouTuber can facade as a pro critic and say it's main character syndrome for an artist to lament her medical suffering on an album about her own life. He's a raised by 4chan edgelord bully. Yuck. So I'm an edgelord bully raised by 4chan who said it was main character syndrome to lament your sickness. Let's get directly into that last one there, since it deals in the review itself and also saves me and you the time of having to go over the entire video, because for a few years now her fans have been making a very clear black and white statement about what I say in this piece of content. That I said the music on this album reflected a main character syndrome, a self-obsession or overinflation of one's abilities due to or because of Halsey's decision to sing about her own medical suffering. So let's watch the clip together where I say that specific phrase to verify that.
Do you mind if we
here we are,
pick
ready
up on
to
this?
watch.
Oh, you gotta go? You gotta go?
On the next one, yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
And I just wanted to, I want to give that its time, and I feel like
it's so good though.
Yeah.
The back half,
like,
the first half is addressing the review. The back half, I'm gonna be honest with you, just a little spoiler alert. He like makes an earnest effort to try and Me Too her. Like it is like what? Like he brings up like this whole like pattern where she had like this whole thing with her fans that she would like kiss them, like anybody who got like a meet and greet, she would like make out with them, and like she wouldn't card them or whatever. Like You know,
Oh my
like
God.
she she like would kiss literal, like make out with actual minors and stuff. Like it is incredible. It is just, it's my
Great.
favorite
Yeah.
news story of the week. It's it's amazing. But yeah, you got to go
All
though.
right. Yeah. So
Unfortunately.
I definitely want to give that its moment then, but I do want,
Sure.
just before I go, this jabroni was talking about my chat rules. Finally found them again.
Oh,
Old
nice.
person, but this is what they were talking about. It says this is a socialist stream. No bad faith trolling about capitalism. Genuine questions are fine.
You are limiting what I can say. You are stifling my free speech.
I have rules about what people are allowed to challenge me on. See, no, I don't. And see, this is, I don't know if like, I don't know what this is. I don't know if you're like 12 or it's just that thing where everyone's 12 now. And like,
hell yeah, man, you're
you
12.
just never learned how to like read something and be like, okay, what are they saying though?
Yeah.
But that's really fucking sad and stupid, bro.
It's like, if you are just saying, it's like that person earlier who came in and was just, they had all of the Reddit jokes about Hassan and, you know, Graham Platner and AOC and like all these people. It's just AOCIA. I'm a Paris socialist Hassan fanboy, you know, like that kind of shit, right? Like, it's just like, just don't do that. Like, it's just like, if you have like an actual point to make, if you have an actual fucking, you know, insight, you know, we want to hear it, you know, let's challenge things. So can we say socialist ideology is dumb? What's your reasoning?
Yeah.
I mean, how bad do you gotta leave,
you just did say it's dumb. I'm not blocking you.
Yeah.
What do you think is dumb?
We're not in the position to block anybody at this level. Maybe in a year if things go well. So it's conditional, like I asked. I like that they patiently waited through the first third of that Fantano video for this.
So what is the thing here? So you think I'm what, like a hypocrite if I don't just say, yeah, do whatever bad faith shitty attacks that you want on me? I'm not a person. I don't have a goal here. This is about you yelling at me in exactly the way you want.
Mm-hmm. I said, okay, you got to leave. So but I want to have, I would love, man, see, here's the thing. I would love to have this fucking argument. I would love to watch you have this argument. But XNF
same time next week, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if we want to do this
or Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Probably Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah, let's try to do this Wednesday at 6:30 or to 7, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Follower only chat or a no-go for me. Wait, is this a follower only chat?
Follower only? That's
not a bad policy to have, honestly.
Yeah, see, look at that. You just challenged us and we were like, you know what? We will change that. Maybe I'm not as Stalinist as you fucking feared.
I would love to watch you get in an argument. But okay. Anyway, listen, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll change that.
We'll talk about Fantano legitimately trying to get Halsey canceled for kissing kids. Mr. Shushy's is, yours isn't. Wait, follower only chat? Oh yeah, and my chat will never not be follower only. I learned the hard way. You don't want to let the riffraff in like that. You know, and you know, follow me if you care so much. But it's just you get. I used to do podcasts, like I used to do like 2 or 3 podcasts a week, like during the pandemic. Like you limit. It's just like if I'm gonna let you talk to me, you're gonna give me a follow. That's change rate of this shit.
We'll see if we get up to a good chunk of followers or viewers. We'll see how that goes.
We'll see. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Anyway,
good shit.
Well, fun time talking with you. Let's reconvene offline and we can talk about this and then Wednesday at 6:30.
Right on. XNF. We'll see you then.
XNF I can't say it. I can't say your name. XNF. We'll see you next week.
All right. See ya.